Soham Biswas, and I'm a student of Life Science and Biotechnology. This unique platform brings together various eminent leaders from industry, academia, and aspiring professionals on a common forum. It is an integral part of our yearly calendar where our students will get an opportunity to interact directly with the successful leaders through the virtual platform. I would now request our respected Director of Career Development Cell, Alumni Relations and Group Outreach, Adamas University, Mr. Obhijit Giri, to set the context for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Hi, Soham. Very good evening, and
Very good evening, sir.
very good evening to my esteemed friend and speaker for this evening, Lokesh, and my friend Akshata, all participants, my colleagues from the different business unit of our group, and my dear students, and all participants, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the hot topic of this century. That is digital, transformation or transforming skill and employability in the digital enterprise. I think it is one of the most important, most widely talked topic across globe in today's days. As all you know, probably everybody know this fact that digital transformation is profoundly affecting the ways what we contribute to society, contribute in our life, we contribute to our job. I mean, there are humongous level of changes, humongous level of effect when we comes and talks about this digital transformation. If you go by little research, in the very recent past, I was just going through a couple of research, said that 14% of our workforce, present workforce, is going to be highly in the risk zone while these digital transformation skill set are important in their area of work or in their day in and day to life. Almost about 32% of the workforce is going to face a major challenge while they are going to contribute the basic job role of their own area of work. So it means the majority, almost 50% or above, peoples are going to face major challenge. Of course, however, balance maybe 30-40% peoples are struggling to convert themselves, reskill themselves to adapt the new changes in this digital transformation era. It's all about, if you really think about what this digital transformation is, I'm sure my friend Lokesh is going to trace on this and discuss in detail of it. But in my mind, while I'm talking about digital transformation, it's all about technology, it's all about data, it's all about process automation. And I think three very important essential component of this transformation is that innovation of the process, automation in nature, is actually no longer going to exist in the area of the corporate world or in the job world. And thereby, the most important thing that we need to create our mind, even the students, young generation, the present workforce and upcoming workforce, future workforce, we all need to create our mind in terms of problem solving skill, developing the automation, developing the skill of re-engineering, technology, data, automation. All these are going to be narrative for the tomorrow's world. I think if this is the circumstance, if this is the situation, what is that we need to do? What is that students need to do for their future in coming days? What they're supposed to do? I think Lokesh is going to take us through a beautiful, thought process, his experience, and that is going to help all of us. With this note, I would like to request host to formally introduce guest of today's evening, the guest, my friend, esteemed speaker, highly professional, highly experienced, Lokesh in this forum. Over to you, Soham, or host.
I would now call upon my co-host for the session, Mr. Shonjit Banerjee, from the School of Pharmaceutical Technology to run us through Mr. Lokesh Payik's profile. Over to you, Shonjit.
Thank you, Soham. Very good evening, everyone. Evangelizing the digital revolution at Bosch, Mr. Lokesh Payik is the Chief of Digital Enterprise, focusing on connected industry, famously known as Industry 4.0 or Industrial IoT for emerging markets. He is responsible for establishing and scaling up the business in India, Mexico, Turkey, South Africa, and Asian countries. He has been instrumental in setting up a business leveraging Bosch competencies in IoT technologies, augmented reality, product development, and user experience, and now scaling up with customer centricity and a high performing team. Leveraging the proven manufacturing and technology know-how of Bosch from the developed economies. His team translates those into digitalization initiatives for the emergent context. He has over a decade of proven track record in managing and scaling up business, playing with new age technologies like Internet of Things, services, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence, to name a few. A strong proponent of the people at the center philosophy, he prides in bringing together a dynamic team of intent and action comprising of millennials and the vastly experienced. Mr. Lokesh Paik is a Bachelor of Technology from BVB College of Engineering, India, and holds a master degree in Business Administration from La Trobe University, Australia. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm excited to be part of this. I hope we'll do justice as we speak. I'm sharing this perhaps a thought-provoking conversation with my good friend and a co-founder of Skillsay, Akshata. We both are going to talk about. We felt when the request came from AG, we thought we'll combine what we have done at Bosch at the same time what Skillsay can do. I'm very, very proud of the work which Akshata and our co-founder is doing on Skillsay. We thought we'll bring that together. So let me start with setting up the context. It's a very limited number of slides, but more importantly, what I want to convey is how we went about it. If you go to the next slide, you will see that the world is changing, right? And that's very impactful. All of us here, you guys are millennials, you have access to the data. I think India is a country where the digital impact is so high. You would be surprised that gone are the days when we carry cash. Very limited cash. Everything, even if it is a 5 rupees, a chip pack we take, we pay using the Paytm or any of the digital Google Pay and even now WhatsApp Pay. And that's India. And any vendor would have a scanner which is kept. And that's impacting us. In India, it's impacting the entire worldwide. The best thing is, how does it impact us? As a society, we see that. And this society has a direct impact coming from technology, which we all see it. But most importantly, one needs to keep in mind the environmental factor of society plus combination of technology, how would it impact? We want to leave this place better for our next generation to come in. We at Bosch believe that the digitization and the connectivity are the important levers that is continue to address, and it has been with these developments that the modern world would imply. If you go to the next slide, you would notice that the Facebook or Google or Alexa, it's very common to see that earlier, whatever you want, you can get it done. I'm sure many of you are using Alexa. My daughter is fixated to that. If at all I need to manage my daughter, I let Alexa manage it because they listen to Alexa than the parents. Because it's always the point that you're having someone to patiently listen and answer those. So as you notice, the Facebook, the Google, and the Amazon are continuing to hold on yours, and they will have a smart assistant's voice control, which is going to help us to a larger extent possible. And this is helping us. I remember my dad asking that I want to listen to this particular song, and it immediately picks up and listens, and he feels happy about it. So that's the impact of what we see is a smart assistant voice control, which is AI enabled. When you say AI, it's an artificial intelligence. It learns automatically. You would be surprised if you're using Alexa that how could it pick the accent of our English? A South Indian to a North Indian to East to West, there's a different way we pronounce, but it picks up so beautifully and it takes it further. So how did it help in current scenario is also important, right? How digitization has helped in current COVID. The next slide actually talks about it. We at Bosch also has created an app. A lot of companies did that to reducing the contacts, increasing the transparency of what's happening on the shop floor, and bringing a lot of flexibility in production. We are a manufacturing company, Bosch. Perhaps few of you know us through a spark plug. You know us through our home appliances at your place. But we're larger mobility, but we are also known for home appliances. So all of these have connected, started coming in. Let's not forget that India COVID app, which started in a very bad mode of not getting a appointment for your accent, is now open source, and people are actually telling that what a fantastic platform that managed a vaccination at this scale. 37 crore people have got vaccinated through COVID app, and that's almost as equivalent as a US population. So I'm a firm believer that the digital, which I highlight in the next slide, is going to continue to have multiple touch points. This multiple touch point will continue to have a better consistency and quality, and there will be orchestration in a rhythmic way. If you've been to A.R. Rahman's music concert, you will see at least some 20 people on the stage tuning to the way A.R. Rahman is orchestrating that. And in digital, that's how it is. The rhythm will flow. This example is perhaps if you say a sales representative coming to your doorstep to sell something, shake hands with you, gets that experience and start feeling it into the app. And that gets translated with all the inputs to the multiple possibility, whether it's a marketplace, whether it's the storage place, whether it's a manufacturing unit, whether it's a loyalty program, whether you have a chatbot when you know that your shirt hasn't arrived. So what you do, you pick up a call, you go to a website and enter the chatbot asking where is it. And there are not only money which get translated, you also get loyalty programs, right? You're getting 500 rupees benefit in say Cult Fit or something else. And all of this is coming to an app into one orchestration. If you are so much interested, I would strongly recommend to read yesterday's paper. Tata Digital is coming up with a complete one platform for digital. What does it mean? It means that the Tata will have every touch points connected in one digital. And they've acquired the Cult Fit, they acquired the Big Basket, and they've formulated a team which is doing everything and anything which an Indian citizen would need will be available in one app, and that's a digital possibility. So multiple people where you're not even heard of are coming together to play that, and that's a digital in nature. Greatest example is your Uber, your Ola, your Amazon, your Flipkart, your Paytm, all of these new age companies where you wish to be part of as a company is digital in nature. So is Skillset, a digital in nature. 3 people came together and they created a fantabulous startup which talks about upskilling the current way, and we'll talk about it a little more. When I read this report, which highlights in the next slide, I was astonished to see that the demand for technology-led skills is going to go higher and higher. And that's in the next slide, which I highlight. The demand is going to go from now to 55% by 2030, which is just 10 years. Trust me, few of you are going to get into jobs in few years. 10 years down the line, you're at the middle age. You need to upskill yourself because that's what required. That's what I did. I went from a manufacturing to a digital 5 years ago, and I did a good choice by doing it. So the hours spent in 2016 in a physical and manual work, say if it is at 203 hours will be spent, billion hours, that is going to go to minus 14. That means people will not use the physical and manual work. Everything will get automated by 2030. The cognitive skill, where you assess the data input, you use the Excel sheet to do an analysis, that will all go for a toss. And there will be a lot of artificial intelligence enabled things going to come in there. Higher cognitive, which requires your creativity, your brain use, will still be there, but not to the extent of what it's been spent. For example, I'm not going to use a lot of my brain for the work which is not required. I'll use it when I need it. It's all about assimilating information and building up pieces together. The social and emotional, thank God, it will still stay. What is going to stay is you will still meet people. You still need to have one-on-one touch. You still want to have coffee with people, not on a digital coffee. The technology is going to be a major one, which is not going to die. All of your digital skills, currently, if you are spending 73 billion hours, there's still a requirement of 55, which is almost like 70%. So a message for you, for us, is the digital skills are here to stay and we need to upskill ourselves. Let me take through in our BOSCH. In the next slide, I want to highlight that what did we do? At BOSCH, we want to be striving towards a world leading IoT company. In a slide number 7, next slide please, Akshita. So where I'm talking about how BOSCH wants to do. BOSCH is a manufacturing company. The products are the hardware products, spark plug, the home appliances, whether it's a refrigerator or a washing machine, all of products. What we want to do, all of these products which are electronic in nature, we want them to be connected. All of them we wanted them to be connected, and we have achieved it by 2021 already. And we want to play in the major 3. One is residential, home appliances, home, the industrial, the London Bridge gets opened, the mobility, which is nothing but automotive. By 2025, what we want is, we just don't want only the connecting one. We also want these products to start having the intelligence inside and start releasing those intelligence and start behaving. For example, how is it if a washing machine gets to know that you're leaving your office and it gets all the work done? Your AC in the room gets to know that in 5 minutes away and it automatically switches on when you come in and there's a pleasant weather. How about your car starts giving messages on not only when the service is due, but also does give you like how did the performance of that particular vehicle going. So that's artificial intelligence. Next, what we do? We created a dual strategy. That's the next slide for us. We have created multiple solutions on IoT. Currently, we have perhaps close to 100 solutions, from a software, a logistics, manufacturing, drives and controls, sensors, all of that. Before we even take it to the next external world, we started doing it internally at BOSCH, and we realized that we can do a lot, benefit our own 245 plus plants in the world. Out of that, 18 plants are in India. The next slide talks about how we did it. So we took a value stream analysis. We took a source, make, deliver. For example, imagine you have to create a mobile phone now. There's a source of materials which comes in, multiple raw material, multiple semi-finished goods material, that all would come. So we start tracking where is it available, when is it coming, so that you can make a just-in-time analysis. How is the transport condition being monitored? There are few things where you have to maintain minus degrees to get it. That we started monitoring using a sensor. When it comes to a plant, which is make, we look at the traceability, we look at the quality, we look at manufacturing excellence, we look at less is more. For example, I want to have a less possible issues on the product, and I want zero defect products so that there is a less possibility of wastage. And then when it delivered at a real-time tracking so that it reaches to logistics and go to a market. And also I continue to connect to the loop back where I connect the feedback. And that's what happened. And we have created a platform in last 5 years. We've done all our plants digital savvy. And most importantly, the next slide, I talk about few of the use cases. When you do it, it's also your bottom line impact. Whenever you do a business, you get a revenue, you need to get profit. How do you get profit? The profit is not just what you sell and you make. The profit is also of less wastage, so you're doing more in the limited available time, whether it's in a production, whether it's in maintenance or inventory. We were able to achieve fantastic results. But when I talk about it, you would be wondering, what do I do as a student? What are those skill sets? The next slides talk about what do we need to do. See, what do we need to do here is we need to understand how the digital transformation happens in a company, and you need to jumpstart it. The jumpstart digital is what we call as a possibility. We have 400,000 people, 4 lakh, and out of them, a lot of people are mid-age and above. They were trained for certain things, and we had to redo a digital culture implement. We have to reskill them. You guys are coming with well-skilled, well-equipped because your university is helping you. But how is that impacting us? So we took that and we took a help of SkillSay. SkillSay came in very good. I want to hand it over to Akshata now going further with next slide onwards. So Akshata will talk about how SkillSay is consulting us, building and boosting with the possibility of taking it to a next level. Akshata, I would hand it over to you to next set of slides, and I'll come back for question and answer. Over to you, Akshata.
Thanks, Lokesh. Okay, first of all, you actually put me in spot by giving the BOSCH and SkillSay example and including SkillSay in the discussion. Thank you so much for that opportunity. Thank you for acknowledging that SkillSay did some help with BOSCH while there's an absolute large engagement that we're working on. I would first of all wish the audience a very happy World's Youth Skills Day, which is today, and nothing apt or better to talk about skills today, specifically on IoT, which Lokesh, I'm sure you'll come back on the topic once we discuss on SkillSay. What we do with BOSCH today is 3 aspects. Let us be honest, skill forever and ahead also. It is only skill that led to evolution, innovation as such. And that is why we built this entire strategy on how do we work with BOSCH on just not giving talent, but first of all, understanding as a customer, what should they exactly be doing, right? So we went back to them, we spoke with them, we understood what does BOSCH or any of our clients today want to do in the next 10 years. That's absolutely important because it's on a strategy, a skill set is built. So we build the entire talent map with BOSCH. We assess their current strength, what are they going to do ahead, and I'm sure Lokesh will touch base on the point on by 2025 what do they want to achieve, whichever is public domain requisition. And then we build 2 models for them. One is skill build and skill boost. Skill build is where we actually connect back with BOSCH, understand the technologies that are to be hired, sit with them, build that entire strategy map, and build a headcount that's required for the next 2-3 years, and work with large universities. In fact, we work with Adamas as well, and thanks Abhijit for getting us in this conversation. We actually do experiential learning together and map this entire thing for you guys to be skill ready, because skill is what is the differentiator. In fact, we have programs running with Adamas University where we actually do more of experiential learning. We've curated contents that are required for our customers, and then we build an entire skill build kind of stuff. The second important thing is skill boost. This comes into picture where BOSCH is actually looking at upskilling about 20,000 internal employees. And that is where we use skill boost as one of our functionalities, where through our AI powered engine, we map every skill set competency of internal employees. Larger part is again with BOSCH strategy, trying to move to a different space altogether, where we are looking at upskilling internal talent. And that's where we come into picture. I'm going to the next slide. Lokesh, I think we've covered that as much, but I'm sure you'll cover what we're doing at BOSCH together. To come as a matter of fact, why did we do all this? Why did we build skill says? Because we understand technology is transforming at unfathomable pace. When we used to look at technology changing every 20 years and then it moved to 10 years, now technology changes every 2 3 years, which means uh, a normal employee now has to upskill himself in the entire career of 30 35 years, will have to upskill himself at least 7 times in his entire career. And that brings us to a point of continuous learning. Learning does not stop at universities as such. It is more of you getting that upskilling that's required every 2 years, every 3 years as such. Universities definitely build the base, but after that it's your how do you want to groom your career? That's absolutely apt and important. We do see a rise of digital experts. By 2025 we're looking at about 200 million digital experts. And by digital we just not do not mean technology here. By digital it means the entire gamut of things that come into picture, where you use digital upskilling. Maybe in the telecom industry there are different skills that come into picture. It's just not technology that comes into picture, so you'll have to be apt enough to find those new skill sets that are coming in the market and build your upskilling aspect as such. And the biggest deficit that we see, so COVID actually catalyzed digital transformation, and there was lots of digital transformation happening all across the world. And that is how now today when we speak, Abhijit and Lokesh, surprisingly we do see 72% of shortage of digital talent across India as such. And that's primarily because the catalyst that happened, we are short of people, and we're short of time as well to upskill people. And that's where we build small boot camps, and we're trying to work all corporates together to ensure that students are trained enough, students know the newest technologies in the market, and they're in the market right there when they work together as such. Okay, so these are the offerings. Thanks, Lokesh, that you brought this aspect also. Skillsa actually brings the digital cloud platform. We connect you guys with AI powered matching, upskilling, and assessment for corporates. So we are actually trying to balance out the skill gap. For corporates, we hire from curated pool of custom skilled candidates, create personalized journeys for them, which is more from upskilling. Today, for example, if somebody is working on React JS and absolutely they want to move into IIT, we actually build that custom journey. In fact, the entire talent map is what we develop. We also engage in permanent gig and hybrid kind of thing, and transform workforce by providing upskilling prepositions for candidates on the other side, which would mean both newer candidates who are the freshers in the market and the laterals. We actually help them assess and benchmark their own desired job family. What job do you want to achieve? Are you aiming for the Googles or Amazons? Everybody has aspirations, so we look at what are you aspiring for with our AI powered matching engines, and then we try to place you in that, and then we give you a customized journey of learning, because that's absolutely important, and that's how we help people get their dream jobs. Or we also help them achieve their career progression. Tomorrow, once you're 3 4 5 years in the industry, it's an ocean. You will lose on understanding where do you want your career to be moving towards. And that is where we help in career progression aspects as well, in terms of leadership coaching that we do. And I'm sure, Lokesh, I've been referring to you again. There are some things, aspects that we are doing with Bosch on leadership coaching. I think apt platform to let students also know it's just not the 0 to 3. You have to look at your career in terms of that 30 years of career that you're going to start off. And these are the technical stacks that we typically look at. These are the in things in the market today. It's just not, when you hear digital transformation, you guys usually talk about AI, ML, and all that, but there are various aspects in the digital transformation that is there. There is skill sets like RPA that's come in. There are newer technologies like I think investment banks look at more of core Java. They look at multi-threading, data structure, and most of us get stuck at learning Java. But when you actually want to join corporates, what we look at is at least experience in Java 8, something like multi-threading and data structure, which has to be absolutely strong on. Sure. Sure. And these are some of our assets. We have our assets in terms of the Ivy League pedagogy that we get in terms of courseware. So of course, Abhijit is the best person. He knows what we do as
Then
work.
A and
We are
L,
signed up
Alpha,
with
Lucy,
global universities as such, and that's how with Adamas
and
we
then
bring in that
K,
required
H,
skill set that's
A,
for the students that's
Y,
required. So these are basically our few
M,
assets
A,
that come into
H.
picture. Sure. Lokesh, do you want me to take the kids to this side, or can we skip? Because this is more of how do we work with them in terms of assessing their hard skills, soft skill, the coding aspects.
We can
Sure.
certainly cover it in the question answer.
Sure.
But I think what you highlighted is well thought through it.
Sure.
What I like about this is these guys have got the best people on the board, and they have been doing it. So on the last slide, if we go on slide number last, so what I wanted to highlight, team, is that they've done multiple activities with companies which are who's who, including Bosch. What surprised me was with the smallest time possible they were able to bring. And they also have a good set of industry ambassadors and board of advisors. And that's, I've been fortunate to get into that. And you have a lot of people, he was all a good, my friends, and they are part of it. And that helped us. On a one quick of choice for multiple companies. But this isn't possible if we don't have a good number of people who are coming on board with digital skill sets. Any year we recruit close to 30 to 40,000 people worldwide. But that going further, that would be only possible if someone is digitally skilled. And that's required. I only sum it up telling that get prepared for a better life, but get skilled for better future. Yeah, thank you so much. Happy to answer any questions you may have, please.
Rohan, you can go ahead.
Yes. The floor is now open for the audience to interact with a chief guest for this evening. Please unmute yourself and ask the question else. Please write down your query in the chat box. Audience, it's your time. Please go for it.
So whatever questions you have, you can put it in the chat box, or you may ask directly as well.
Audience, is a rare opportunity. Please do use it. If you have any questions, please do use the chat box or unmute yourself and ask the question.
So Lokesh, let me start first. I'll ask that first question. I had read through various public domain information that Bosch is trying to move away from what they're doing today and trying to be an AIoT organization by 2025. What is the strategy that you're looking at, and how do you see things changing for Bosch as such?
Yeah, we've been in existence from 135 years, Akshita, and we do not want to come into a list of companies where say, oh, they no more exist, because that's what we're extremely paranoid about. And we want to continue to look at future with optimism and be prepared for it. So that was the reason our strategy of AIoT came in picture. We decided that there is a lot of transformation happening worldwide. It's better to get prepared for it. So we put our strategy together. We wanted to become an IoT company by 2020, and that we achieved. Now we want to become artificial intelligence enabled IoT company. So that's the reason. Where do we see yourself? Of course, I'm not going to talk a lot about numbers, top line, bottom line. That's anyway going to come. But we will be a responsible company, continue to work for Invented for Life, and be cautious about the environmental factors.
True, Bosch. Bosch is definitely such example, Lokesh, that in fact, I do understand that the entire strategy of Bosch is changing, and lots of good work that are in progress. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep, thank you.
Akshada, can you maybe come out from the screen sharing so that now I think people may feel little comfortable to
Sure. They have not seen
see
us. Yeah,
Lokesh,
absolutely. Yeah.
see Lokesh, and probably add few of the important questions.
Sure.
Lokesh, I mean, just for my curiosity, I just want to understand uh, one very important point. While we all are talking about that, probably the repetitive nature of work is not is going to be overtaken. Is actually going to be overtaken by some kind of automation in any of the field. I mean, be it, I mean, whatever field you can pick up, I think most of the work is going to be taken over by the automation and all these things. May not be today, but yes, COVID actually pushed a lot into that direction. Now, my idea is that considering the economy that the kind of market you are dealing, product lines you are dealing, and all. So, considering the economy, which is also affected highly because of the COVID, and on the other hand, people are actually, moving towards into this automation kind of thing, where there are a lot of investment required in terms of the infrastructure development. While I'm talking about IoT, in that matter of fact, maybe in the rural India and all. So, how do you really see the balance can be done, and how I would say that positive view about the balance of this thing is actually going to be maybe in the next couple of years down the time.
Interesting analysis-led question. Abhijit. You're right. The COVID has had an impact on all of us. So whether it's an individual or a company, even Bosch is not an exceptionally done, nothing like that. So we were cautious. So this has also given an opportunity to quickly shake up yourself and learn what is that I need to adopt. And change is constant, right? All of us need to think in that I will not change and everything else has to change is never going to happen. So hence we realized that the change is constant and we took up shaking and we went on it. Economic has been an impact. But if you look at it closely with the analysis of data, the first wave which came last year, the numbers were, of course, bad in that context. But if you compare wave 1 and wave 2, the number of wave 2 is a massive hit, right? It went to an extent of where it is unbelievable. I know because Bangalore has reached to 25,000 and complete shutdown of 2 months. But despite of that, the companies continue to excel. People realize that this is the way to exist and then they adopt it quickly. And going further, everyone rushed to get a vaccination. I'm sure all of us up here and you have taken at least one. And that shows that people have realized that I need to exist in this kind of environment. So are companies, and there's an adoption which will quickly happen. And people, the good part about the engineering skill set I'm talking about, all the companies in India which are engineering in nature are doing extremely good this year. Not even, you will not hear that. You will see whether it's IT like company like Infosys, Wipro, TCS are releasing fantabulous numbers in terms of growth. The auto companies are telling that, yeah, it has been a hit, but we will come back. The auto sales is high. The manufacturing investments are quite good. Government is taking very, very cautious decisions of pulling in a lot of money there. Of course, there's an increase in the petrol prices and all that has hit badly. But barring it, at least 80% of the companies are doing very well. So people have realized that I'm going to exist and I'm going to excel. That's going to happen. For an individual also, it has happened. So going further, I see, come what may, with it, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, it is going to be a norm of life. We're going to exist and excel as I see. And that's a very, very resilient and good mindset of people, which I see strongly as a personal opinion. But again, we need growth. I hope that everyone takes vaccination. Once, and history is prove that whether in Russia you notice 75% of the people have taken vaccination in one particular city, and the wave 3, wave 4 has zero effects, no deaths there.
Yeah.
People are just, even if they're getting recovered, and that's a point. Hence, applauds to the government releasing it to 18 plus, even though there's a supply issue, demand issue is not there, but we are coping up. My gut feel, look at Bangalore, 70% of the population have got one vaccine in Bangalore. I'm sure even if the third wave hits, there won't be lockdown. So there is no lockdown means people, there is money which is going to get circulated. Circular economy. It's all about circular economy, right? You earn, you spend,
Correct.
someone earns, and that's going to come very strongly, I feel.
Great. I think that is going to give a sustainable solution to all of us. I think the vaccination is very important that you really flag. I have some other questions to come in. Of course, you are absolutely right. In spite of having this so much of lockdown, COVID hit in the first level, though the mortality rate is in the second level hit is high, but the overall report says that companies are not actually doing bad. I was just going through other day. Maruti is investing 23,000 crore in Ahmedabad. I understand there is some political angle, because Ahmedabad is going to come for the state election and all. So there is a political angle. However, the chairman of Maruti has given a very strong message to the Haryana government, stating that no manpower is going to cut. The entire automation package, factory is going to be in Ahmedabad. No manpower cut. Rather, Maruti is going to take, more 3,000 manpower even in the Gurgaon. So that means, in spite of market says there is a hit in the business and all these things, I think people are very, very pessimistic. This vaccination probably is going to be another boost that economy is going to happen, and of course that industry is going to perform better. If you talk about IT, you beautifully flagged, actually, raised that IT industry. I understand that IT industry, be it Infosys, be it NIT, be it NIT Technology, I want to mean, be it Wipro, TCS, they all are giving a very, rosy picture in the market, stating that the revenue has come, their, quarter-to-quarter growth is there, year-on-year growth is there, and all. I understand that is possible because this is the need of the hour. On the other side, they are the secondary business. They are actually supporting to the primary production, manufacturing business. So naturally, so if the manufacturing is not doing good, then how come they are also earning the revenue? So of course, it's a cycle and things are doing better. I think there are a lot of questions in the chat box. Host, if you can read for our guest today, I think he can address. Yeah.
Yes, there are certain questions in the chat box. The first is from Mr. Shomajit Ganguly. He's saying that what are the right digital skills and tools which are tech UG students should learn, especially if from the mechanical, civil, or electrical engineering case?
Oh, that's actually multiple question in one question. Mechanical, electrical, and civil is different stream altogether. I would, if I want to say mechanical engineer, right, I would strongly say that please do strengthen your basic designing tools, whatever is available, whether it's AutoCAD, CATIA, ProE, strengthen that. Save your base first. Upon that, do a research and understand what are those new tools coming in place which will help me to take it up. How do I learn the cloud enablement? How do I become, if for example, CATIA is going on cloud, can I learn that particular module and add it to mine? But all said and done, as an engineering master's or a bachelor student, I would strengthen my domain knowledge to a solid. I would not miss that for anything, because your domain is a base. Upon that, you add a digital. It's like simple. Your dal is a base and you add a tadka to make it look good. So digital is always on the domain, never going to replace domain. So focus a lot on that. So is in civil again, understand how the entire value chain works. One of the example I'll give you, we worked on a company in UK which is a construction company. You'll be surprised what Bosch is doing in construction company. This construction company is unique. What they do is they build houses in a factory, complete house in a factory, and they go and they assemble it. Did you recently watch a video from China where 24 hours they assembled a complete apartment? Google it and you'll find it. Within 24 hours, they assembled complete apartment of multi-story building, fully ready to walk in with your clothes. And that is the change happening in civil. That we need to aware. And what are the tools required for it? Design thinking, which you can envision this bigger picture, designs, then working on traceability, working on logistics, working on multiple. So there's a very thin, lean line between my domain is only mechanical, I'll focus on that. Gone are the days. You need to understand the entire value chain. Value chain is always customer of customer to a supplier of supplier. And there is no B2B, no B2C. There is no business to business, business to customer. Everything is business to customer. So you need to understand that also. So if you want to enhance a lot of possibilities, one slide of Akshata detailed out huge possibilities for each of the domain. Strengthen domain, understand what are the technology strength happening in that domain, build those skills.
Okay, now coming to the next question. At the outset, we thank you for your greater enabler interface. Chitrapu Kamaraju is saying to you, sir. Please let us empower on the role of transformation, on the role of transformation, and on the role of digital India and fintechs in financial inclusion and the road ahead. Basically, focus is on transforming skill and enterprise creation.
Yeah, see again, anyone who wants to be part of an organization or an entrepreneur will always look at wealth generation and wealth creation. And that's given. So the product, like you're asking me, what are the trends which is going to happen in the new generation financial? It's a lot's happening. And fortunately for us, somehow I feel this particular government is digitally savvy. There is a new IT minister who has come in, who is extremely good, has worked in corporate sectors, IITN, IAS fellow, worked as an MD for Siemens, and he's going to change the revolution as it goes further. We just have to keep watching the trends coming in, not to just sit and watch, but more importantly, upskill ourselves. Upskill ourselves. Again, I come back to that. As a student, if I were a student, if someone, industry leader talking to me and all, I would ask like, tell me what to know to do, how do I stay relevant? I'd only say one answer. Stay curious, don't let that go. Stay curious on every small thing what's happening. Read a lot about it. 20 years ago, we had access to books. We used to sit in library. You don't sit in library, you access everything on your phone, everything on your Kindle, everything on your iPad or Samsung tab. So that you utilize more you know, better for you, and that will help you to connect the dots together.
Okay, that's all that has come up till now in the chat box. Audience, if you have any more questions, please do use the chat box. You might unmute yourself as well.
Just to add on what Lokesh said, answer to the question of Soumojit. I think this is, I don't know why, these all we are experiencing in the recently. Gone are the days, of course, the fundamentals, which is very important that Lokesh has already pointed out. Whatever is the domain, whatever is our subject that we are doing, the fundamentals that we have to do it. I mean, we have to be rock solid into the fundamentals. That is no doubt about it. But at the same time, I think that gone are the days, probably I am a mechanical engineer and this is my area of work. I go beyond or I don't know beyond anything of that at the time actually no longer exists. Yeah. I mean, I have to work collaboratively with civil engineer, electrical engineer. I have to, And that's the reason. I mean, I have find a lot of students nowadays even say that, okay, I'm a mechanical engineer. I just want to go to, maybe Maruti, or I just want to go to any, automobile sector. I don't want to go to IT sector. What do I do in the IT sector? I think there is a change of mindset which everybody now need to understand. The reason being, even if the TCS is recruiting some mechanical engineer, TCS is a product manufacturing company. They are going to give a service to any automobile company. Let's say they are going to give service to maybe Maruti for that matter of fact. Then some of the mechanical engineer who requires to give input to IT guys that this is how the mechanical system works, and then they can create the software accordingly. I think that is where the importance of all engineers to know the latest technology, collaboration between the domains. Civil men should know some sort of technology aspect, mechanical should know some sort of technology aspect, and they can collaborate with each other. I think that is the narrative of the so-called industry 4.0 that we are talking about. That is exactly the narrative that industry 4.0 is. I think Lokesh will definitely, agree with me what I am trying to say. Yeah.
True. No, true. That's well put. Well put, Abhijit, I must say.
Yeah. Few more question is there?
No, sir, actually, they are not questions. Well, still, I'll just read it out. It is for you, sir. Yes, sir. Manufacturing nowadays is a series of planning, designing, automation, surveillance, maintenance, research, development, mixed up with manual and soft skills, irrespective of specific domains, actually. One of the audience said this view.
Yeah.
True.
So just in nutshell, the probably I have one point to ask is, in spite of sectoral domain knowledge and all, what is the need of our? Because I understand the life of any technology. If you look at the history, 2 decades history or 3 decades history, the life cycle of any technology is earlier used to be maybe 7 years, 10 years. Now it is going to be shorter, and now it is going to be just now presently. If you see the life cycle of any technology is maximum 5 years, and I can foresee out of my experience and observation, next decade onwards, it is going to be the only 2 to 3 years of life cycle of any technology. So, what is your suggestion to the students right at the moment? Because maybe the students are there in the first year or second year or so. By the time they are going to be into the market, there are a lot of changes which are going to happen. So, how they need to actually cope up? What is that your guidance to them, Lokesh?
Yeah, you're right. So 3 to 5 years is the horizon. Earlier, it used to be 20 years. The revolution of anything coming in. Now it's the industry 3.0 to 4.0 perhaps took 30, 20 years, but 4.0 to 5.0 would not take that much. It will be very quick, and the technology will continue to evolve. It's like coronavirus, right? It continue to develop on its own, and the new mutants will come. So the technology would continue to learn on its own, and that. So hence, the need of reskilling and upskilling becomes extremely important. So that's where Akshata's startup Skills is trying to do. That all the universities, like many universities are trying to do. I'm very glad that wherever I speak with, whether my alumni, whether in India or Australia, both of them are talking about how they can contribute to industry. Industry is talking about how they can contribute to the upskilling and keeping the people ready for their requirement from the university. There's a lot positive collaboration happening in this front. And what I see is curious students, with the strength of any country, are extremely keen to learn and they want to implement. Whenever I go for recruitments to multiple universities, I enjoy that process because they're all very curious. For them, the salary is one, but that's not a major one. For them, I want to come and learn and implement, and I have big aspiration to make it big. and they're ready to learn the new technologies on top of that. So which is quite good. I reckon and agree with you that it's constantly changing and one needs to abreastly continue to keep a watch on it.
Absolutely, Lokesh. Apt.
Yeah, I think.
So I have a question, Lokesh, because this is a chance. I will not shy away from asking questions because Lokesh, usually we talk work, but then I wanted a more perspective from Bosch. While Industry 4.0 is the thing that we're all trying to focus on. How important is sustainability as such in all this? How does it fall under Bosch strategies there?
Very interesting question. It also complements recently Aviraj Basu also mentioned that it complements both. So let me try to answer both together. What he says is in every 2-3 years, when a new technology happens, what's going to happen to your existing instruments? What's going to happen to the tools? Are you going to throw it away or are you going to sustainability is a major factor? Akshata, very important point. No, we're not going to run that away. As I mentioned, the core will remain as core. That will not change. No matter what. The technology will change. How to utilize the core is going to be a fundamental there with new technologies a fun fact. See, you're not going to have a completely different railway bogies running, right? You will not replace the cars. You will not replace the houses. You will not replace anything. So that's core, civil, mechanical, electrical are core and they will remain core. And we will not throw away. For example, Akshata, you asked me a very interesting question. Sustainability. When we decided to do an IoT company enablement, we took 123-year-old lathe machine of Bosch. Lathe machine, right? Mechanical engineering students can understand what is lathe machine. And this was to be used by our Mr. Bosch himself when he was running the company. Mr. Nate Bosch. And we took that and we connected that with new sensors. We connected that particular lathe machine to the cloud and started getting data out of it and made a sense out of it. And we made that lathe machine reusable. So you don't have to throw away all your machines. You can connect your sensors, get the data, make it more smart. It's all about making existing process and product smart. And whenever you do a new product, a new process, start thinking from a smart. And that's the answer for you and Aviraj Basu.
Awesome.
Did I answer your question, Aviraj? If you say yes, type it as, or you can come on board and say that yes. If no, then let's debate for sure.
Guys, you can actually talk. It will be nice that you can come on video and talk. That will be more of an interesting session. Yeah.
So any more question?
You don't get the CD of Bosch. Yeah, exactly. Abhijit, I was just saying you don't get the CD of Bosch on calls like that. So if you have any questions, do go ahead and ask him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of few of our professors are also here. If they have anything to ask, I think this would flag here. I think that is a nice way to discuss. Yeah. We have couple of few minutes time. I request any of our professors or any of our staff member or even the students, colleagues or students, anyone want to raise this point to discuss. I won't say answer, rather to for points for discussion.
Sir, I have one quick question.
Yeah.
May I?
Please.
Yes, sure. Well, you see, in the current situation, we see that the world is changing, right? A lot of people have to go cross domains. We don't no longer stay in our own native domains. Jobs are changing, and so are people. So my question is, what are the kind of cross domain IT skills that might be required to a student of bioscience or biotechnology in the near future? So if you please.
I'm not an expert in biotechnology, neither am a bioscience student, but I'll just tell you what would what would help anyone to excel in career is upskilling yourself in your domain, of course, whatever happening, keep abreast. But more importantly, the soft skills, which are values which we have been brought up with from our parents, are going to play a major role in your career. The collaboration. You're not going to be a single person contributing, period. More you understand, appreciate the diversity. When I say diversity, not just gender or religion or something, diversity of variety of thoughts coming in, and you accept that I don't know and I'm here to learn is going to be a major, major trait, a skill anyone need to take when he wants or she wants to excel in career. Collaboration, accepting that I don't know and I want to learn, and staying calm, having empathy, taking a long journey. It's a test match. There is no 2020 in career. I mean, very honest, having spent 17 years, I went through that phase of career where I said I'm frustrated, I want to change and all that. But I realized it's a long test match. And everything will happen at a certain space. But one needs to stay happy, one needs to stay positive. Especially now, all of us are sitting here to become a most important factor to focus on, right? Yeah, it is okay to get my daughter or my son coming and disturbing me when I'm talking to you, not to yell at them, hey, don't come, I'm on a call, but say, hey, hold on, let me come back to you. That's an empathy. And these skills are most important in an environment in corporate sector. When you learn everything. What colleges or school teach you is learnability. They don't make you an expert, they make you learnable. When you learn, you go.
Man, meeting.
Where a part of that learning is useful. But you see that one or the other day it's going to come. The learnability is useful. So I'm a firm believer that college and schools teach you learnability. You become expert when you reach an organization. Because experience. You go through all that experience. So I'm not expert in bioscience. You need to forgive me for that answer, but I thought this would help you to, I'm only trying to help you to go and find an answer yourself.
Sure, sir. Teaching oneself is the best thing.
Absolutely. Is there any
Absolutely.
other chat?
And with you having access to so much of information which we never had, learning the right thing is also important.
Yes.
Focus on what you want to grow your career in.
Okay.
You can't put your shoes in all the places.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, one cannot be expert in everything.
Any questions?
That's true. As for now, sir, there are no questions coming up in the chat box. Audience, I might wait for a couple of more minutes.
Hold back. Hold back. Just any question. Let me see in YouTube and Facebook channel also.
Yes,
there may be
sir.
some questions also.
Yes, sir.
Because yesterday there was a couple of questions from Facebook and all. Yeah. Yesterday there was. Yeah, there is a question. Again, this is not. I think this is not a student question. I think I don't understand. I'm sure this is not a student question.
Sure,
how can BOSCH in the digital arena and in the innovation arena, how can BOSCH compete with the competitor like Samsung, LG in Indian market? I understand this may not be the student's question.
How do we compete? We stay relevant. Out of our, if you go to BOSCH annual report, you will notice that we invest close to 8% of our revenue. We revenue 70 billion, 8% of that we put in R&D, research and development, and we work on new products, new technologies which are futuristic, and we release that to market. We do not have a direct competition with Samsung. We have Siemens, We have LG, we have others, of course, home appliances. But our products are good. I don't want to become a sales guy here, but yeah, Bosch invests on futuristic technologies, and that's useful. And I'm sure many of you who would have purchased Bosch product need not go for another product in at least a decade to 2 decades. People have bought, I have purchased a Bosch washing machine. It's been running superbly good. I don't have to change it. So life, invented for life, is you buy one time and you can run for entire lifetime. That's been our motto, sustainability, as Akshata mentioned. We are in the business, profit is important, but the same most important.
I think the durability is the narrative of Boss product. I mean, that actually make the identity Boss from any other competitive. Durability is a very important point, I understand. Of course, along with that advancement of the technology and all. And another question is also there. In this situation, healthcare industry is one of the most important and emerging industry, and it is very relevant too. So how BOSS innovation is actually going to address and support the healthcare industry? Is there any product line innovation in terms of supporting the medical equipments and all these things? That's what is the probably question.
Yes, you might have perhaps during COVID times, our plants have started creating products for ventilators, and we started creating masks. We started producing ventilator parts, and we started giving it to government companies, and we worked very closely with Mr. Amitabh for those. That's in the COVID scenario. But healthcare is one of our division for Bosch. We have a lot of products which have been developed, engineered in our Bangalore office, and we believe that there were multiple awards globally, and we continue to do that.
Okay, I think one more question is there. Soham, yes, if you can see, yes. Otherwise we'll.
Yeah. Yes, sir. One more question in the chat box. Wasim is asking to you, sir. As we all know, future mobility is to go green. Would you like to know if we would like to know if Bosch is coming up with components for EV vehicles in future as well?
Yes, certainly. We have to follow the industry trend. We are a component manufacturer, and we work with our OEMs, and OEMs have good plans for electric vehicle, and we are prepared to address those. Answer is yes.
Okay, fine. I think there is no more question, but I think let the COVID to be little normalized. I am actually eagerly waiting to travel. I mean, I'm not a person of sitting in one place and all. So I'm actually missing my travel schedule and all. So once situation will be a little normal, I'll definitely travel to Bangalore, and Lokesh, I'll definitely catch you up. I'll request Akshata to join us. I think we'll have a good dinner or something. Yeah. I mean, lot of days. I think last six months. Yeah, nearly 6 months I have not traveled. I think last I traveled to Hyderabad, and after that second phase, hit us and all. So I stopped actually. So
sure.
Let's see.
Look forward. Look forward.
Yeah.
Abhijit, Lokesh is still traveling.
Yeah. Huh? You're traveling, Lokesh?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
So I should then start. I should not stop and give the excuse of COVID. I should start.
I've taken both the jabs, and I take my mask, and I think you should. That's okay.
Yeah. That's how we should do. Actually, we should not stop. In fact. Anyway, I would request host to then formally, asked, to give vote of thanks and our token of appreciation, and then probably, close the program for the day.
Sure.
To you, host. Yeah.
So we have come almost at the end of this session. So now I would like to ask Ms. Shushmita Sinha, the National Head Outreach Career Development Cell, to deliver the vote of thanks and formally wind up this session. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, Lokesh. Hello, Akshita. It's my privilege to be able to offer a vote of thanks to both of you on behalf of Adamas University. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us through this enriching session. Our university is on our 7th year of journey with a vision to become a globally recognized university and with a mission to increase employability, foster lifelong learning culture, and mentor students to make them significantly contribute to nation building. And it is interaction with business leaders such as yourselves that we want to fulfill our quest towards this vision and mission. Today's session really touched our chords because we want to instill a culture of consistent and continuous learning and unlearning. And in the background of the massive speed with which transformation is taking place, this becomes all the more essential. I would also like to thank all the students, faculty, my seniors, fellow colleagues to make this session interesting through their participation. Thank you so much and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lokesh. We'll catch up sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, thanks for spending time with us this evening. Yeah. And my invitation is always open for all of you. I mean, I always say Darshita to you, and please do visit us. And whenever situation will be normal, then officially definitely we'll host face-to-face discussion here.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you, Abhijit and the
Thank you
team.
so much.
Take care. Bye.